Hello everybody, and welcome to another video brought to you by me, Jack, at VintageElectronicsGeek.com. Today's video is brought to you in sponsor of money. Lots and lots of money. How's that? Well, as you can see by the title, I bought more junk. And today's junk is going to deal with camera gear that I have purchased. Just recently went to a camera swap. It's like a ham swap, except for its camera junk. And I like that. It's been a while since I've been able to go to one due to my eyeballs. But for the most part, I don't want to say I'm past that. I still have eyeball issues, but I'm past it enough that I can go out and enjoy, even though I'll never do it professionally again. Well, I could if I had to, but, you know, those days are behind me. So we're going to look at a bunch of junk that I bought today. A lot of bargains. You know, you look at things real quick and ask the price so you can get on down to the next table to get that good deal. And so you don't really spend a lot of time mulling things over and looking at things. And, you know, you goof up and you forget to do a few key important things. And, well, that's what I did. But I don't care. I got stuff at such a bargain. If nothing else, target practice, right? So let's go ahead and get the show on the road. I want to say there's a lot of it, but then again, there's not a lot. Probably fulfill a good half hour or thereabout. Do I need all this stuff? No. Do I want it? Yes. Do I want more of it? Yes. So there, take that. This first item is a Sony MVC-FD100. Now, I do have one of these, but it's not the 100. I forget exactly which model I have. I bought mine brand spanking new. Got about $600 wrapped up into it. This one here comes all the way from the year 2002. And for those of you that's never seen one of these, well, let me introduce you to it. This is a Sony Mavic, and it's a 1.2 megapixel still camera. This model actually shoots video. My model does not. This is going to be really cheap and cheesy video. It's going to get like 10 seconds worth of video or something like that. Really cheap. This one records onto floppy diskette. You'll get roughly, depending on what size of photograph you shoot, you can get maybe upwards of 20 pictures or thereabout onto one floppy. Now, I also have with my camera, and it'll work in certain a few other cameras, Mavics. I have the floppy disk memory card reader adapter, and it's just as it sounds. In the back side, you could put a Sony memory card in there, and I think the biggest they offer is 128. One of these days I'll dig it out and we'll look at all that. I got to get new batteries for the adapter. Went to use it on another camera here not too long ago and found that happened. Now, this one is newer. I think mine is 2000. 1999, 2000, right in there. As this one here does support. Oh, very cool. There we go. So there you go. For those that have not seen, this is what one looks like. This is 128 megs, and that's 128 megs out of focus. And on this, you can anticipate to get, you know, a couple hundred shots. This is also where the video will record to. Now, since I just bought this stuff, I have not tested any of it. I cannot begin to tell you if any or all works. We're going to find that out real quick. They also make a cup that or a viewfinder that went over this window, and we got little snaps that go right there. I do have such a thing for another Sony camera, and I believe it should pop onto this one or thereabout. And one day when we get to those cameras, you'll get to see all that new cool stuff. The only thing I've done, I have pulled the battery out, because yes, this did come with the battery. This is a L battery, as you can see right there, a out of focus L battery. I put this on the charger for about an hour and a half. That's all I've done. This is the battery that came with it, so we want to see if this battery is any good. We'll take the lens shade off, or the thing, and we will turn it on, and you got this little switch right here. It's a two-step. You got to push that little dot and then down and hold it, and there we go. It's alive. And just for those that are not familiar with cameras, if you ever get if you don't know when the camera was manufactured and you don't know how to read the date code or anything like that, just pull the battery out, and if it comes out with the calendar, that calendar is going to tell you what year it's good for. So that's how you could date. Now you can see the LCD back screen is on. You can simply turn that off, and by doing so, it's to help save battery. And you got this little window right here. When you're outside, natural light is supposed to pipe through that and illuminate the screen. I'll just leave it at that. To set the date, you do something exciting. Let's see. Now I have a earlier camera by Sony that uses the same OS, and that one you could actually play a game. I don't know if you could play a game on this one. I don't know why I'm going through and setting this. I'm going to take the battery out anyway. So there you go. Hope you can see that. Nope, I don't see a game. Now, if you don't want that bar on your screen, you just take and push downward and Shazamo. To view if you've got something for pictures, you hit play, and we got that old floppy in there, and yes, we do have somebody. It's actually not a bad picture. And then you rock. Oops. Got to get to the rock part. There we go. What a lovely photo that is. Lovely. Okay, so as far as video goes, then you just flip it on over to video, and it says 5 seconds record. Let's see if we can get any more time out of it. Yes, we can go all the way up to 15 seconds. And we can go to 320 by 240, which is WGA, and we'll smack that. Perfect. Now I'm not going to record, I'm not going to test record because I want to go through on the computer and see what what nuggets of goodie they have left me. And you got a switch right here that toggles between the memory card and the floppy disk. So let's do that. And we've got no file. So, fantastic. You know, these are, they're not a very expensive camera, or let me rephrase that, they're not very high-end, you know, they're a consumer grade, but they don't shoot a bad photo for what they are. They are slow, you're not going to speed shoot with it. Just a consumer grade camera. I wasn't sure if the battery was going to work. This is how you charge up the battery in body as well as powered up. And I brought an adapter, and then I plugged it in. I should have an idiot light somewhere that pops up and says it's recording, charging. Or maybe not. I do have that plugged in. Pull the battery just to make sure I've got power. I don't have power. Alright, got power now. And there we go. So now we're charging that battery. While we're doing that, let's move forward. We'll let that continue to burn in a little bit. And we'll set this off to the side. That should be 37mm lens threads on that. And it's a 3x optical. Now you can do digital, but with any camera, whether it's still or video, stay away from optical. Optical sucks so bad. These cameras feel really good in hand. They have a good grip. They're girthy. So we'll put that off to the side. You see a couple other cameras back there. I did not get those in today's sale, but they're probably going to be for demoing something else later on. I picked up another monopod. This is a Bogan Manfrotto, model number 3016, and it is a 2-section, 3-section. Depends on how you want to count it. Again, I didn't need it. I already have one by Manfrotto, and I have one by somebody else. So this will make my third monopod. I don't use them often, but got a good deal on it. I like Manfrotto. Good quality products. Ain't much to say about that one. We do have a 1/4 inch 12 by 24 up top. don't make sense, does it? 1/4 inch by 24 threads. That's what I meant to say. Got me another Hippie strap. I love these Hippie straps. It's all I use. I do not like the modern day stuff. They're horrible. This one here is a little bit newer. The older ones were kind of thick. I didn't realize it, but I have to get in there get the wife to get in there with their sewing machine and tack that up. But these got nice swivel on them, and when you have just a standard strap, there's no swivel, so your camera gets all contorted, and it's absolutely horrible if you shoot. If you shoot, then you understand that these by far are the best. This one definitely not vintage. I like the vintage ones. They're thicker, and you can tell the vintage ones from the newer ones because they've got some elastic in here that you could put 2 to 3 rolls of film in here. So this one is definitely not as high quality as what I'm accustomed to, but I only paid $2 for it, so it will work. I got several of these, and they last several years. I got one that I bought in mid-80s. It's a little tethered, a little tired, but it still works. I've kind of retired that one, and I have more that I use. And besides that, I only need one good one, but I do carry a backup with me just in case. I put these split rings on all my cameras. That way I don't have to have a strap per camera. I just pop on my oh, for Pete's sake. And away you go. Next item I got was this really cool case made by Tamron. Of course, that's not what's in it or who's in it. See, we got nice fitted case. And we have a Quantaray 70 to 300 millimeter. This is for a Pentax. I have several of these lenses in different flavors, and I do believe I have one already. I think I have this already in a Pentax mount. Just not sure where I have it. I have a lot of stuff, and you need to believe me on that. Not only do I have a lot of radio gear and test equipment gear, I've got a lot of camera gear. And so that's what I brought this camera out to mount that lens to see how it do work. I primarily shoot with a Nikon, and this is a little bass backward from a Nikon as far as mounting. And twizzling and all that good stuff. Now, Quantaray is a store brand like Ritz or, you know, a house brand. But don't shy away from them. As house brand, any generic lens can be and could be made by top of the line makers: Canon, Nikon, Minolta, Sigma, Tamron. You can get some pretty awesome glass that people pass on because they think it's cheap, and you could pay next to no money for it, like I did most of these lenses. This camera I paid $10 for it. Now, that's probably about $5 too much. But it did come with the bag and literature. I know, whoop-de-doo, but collection, right? This lens I paid $5 for, with the case, with this rubber hood, and it has a circular polarizing lens, which either one of these you'll spend $5 on at least. Now the brand on the filter is a Quantaray also, and when I said lens I meant to say filter. So let's fire this up. Now this is a 70-300 as stated, and it's also macro. The camera I've got this testing on is a Pentax K110. It's an okay camera. I will leave it at that. It's capable of doing the job, providing you're under control lighting. Mixed lighting, it's horrible. So, too close, of course, for close-up. Let's see what we can do for macro. And for macro, you just zoom it all the way out, and then you flick this switch right here on the barrel. And this one has no travel, so you're fixed at this. And this is going to be a 300mm macro. And these little rubber collapsible lens hoods you can buy off eBay. This one seems to be a pretty good quality. And I'm too close. See a photo, but I'm too close. Yeah. Out of focus. Put it into manual. They're into every auto everything. And I'm going to go into aperture priority. And drop that down into 5.6. ISO, I'm going to bump that up to 1600. I may have to increase, but let's see what happens. So it's not bad, not bad. The problem with these Quantaray lenses, as well with any inferior lens, no name brand, is you can run into a lot of chromatic abrasions. And that's just the way it is. And that's, really not even dependent on a cheap brand. You can get that also with name brand. And if you have that, then what you need to do is turn down make sure your light going into your camera is not too bright. And again, that had the circular polarization lens on there. I could have adjusted that, and that could have gave me some more lighting as well. But it wasn't bad. So that tells me that the lens works. Now you heard that the motor, when I pushed focus, that loud noise, that was the built-in motor into the lens itself. Some of your modern day lenses don't have a motor, so you got to make sure that your camera body will support your lens and vice versa. So put that back over yonder. Now here's a monster of a lens. Let me back out a little. Oh, I am backed out all the way. Might have to move the camera. Look at that. Now that lens, that's got to weigh at least 80 pounds. We have a nice tripod mount. This is push-pull manual focus. This is a 70 to 220 millimeter f3.5, and this is for Pentax. So let me pull the Pentax back out. Massive, massive lens. It's honestly got to weigh about 8-9 pounds. And that's a true mount. That's not a T connector. There's no pull-out hood. That's a 72 millimeter front lens. I'm planning on buying a newer Pentax, that way I could have video, so I could test these on video. This does have macro, as well as, of course, manual aperture, because this was made back in the film days. Let's see what I can do. Had to switch into macro. Wow, that looks nice. Wow, that is amazing lens. See how close I can get. Shoot something here on my bench. So I shot that meter right there. That's about, what, 2.5, 3 feet tops from me. Oh, and I didn't even have it adjusted all the way down. And that is about 24 inches away. Wow, amazing. I'll shoot this camera. Let me adjust my ISO. So about 24 inches away. Wow, what an amazing lens. That'd be a man to lug that thing around. Okay, the next lens I got. Oh, this lens, they had it marked for $40. I offered them $10 and they took it. This lens here I paid $5 for. This is a Pentax mount. It's a Tokina brand. Which, if I remember right, is a Nikon brand. And this is a 35 to 105 f3.5. It's manual of course. And right off the bat you could tell it's a Nikon mount by the snout. And so we'll we'll grab a Nikon. And let's shoot something. It does have macro. Oops, and you can't see. And that's about, what, 24 inches in front of me. The camera that I'm using is a Nikon D70. This is also a push-pull. It's got some stuck grease there, but I think we just broke it. So I just shot that. Alright, so on this lens, when you're in macro mode, you cannot push down. You have to get past macro mode. And blammo. So, nothing wrong with the lens, it was just an issue with the owner-operator. I know it's horrible to see, but it works. Very cool. We'll go ahead and leave that on there since I didn't have a lens on that. There's another lens I picked up for $5. This is another lovely lens. I enjoy lenses with the tripod mount. I always gravitate towards them the most. Got a lens hood. Really nice and smooth, buttery smooth. This is a 90 to 230 millimeter f4.5 made by Vivitar. Now don't knock Vivitar, because some of them were just absolutely amazing lenses, especially their series 1s. And here you see we are screw mount, Pentax mount, so you could put a T2 on there. This is actually an M42, but you'll hear it called a screw mount. You could buy T adapters, which I have, which we talked about in an earlier video, and then you can mount it to any body you want. So, very, very lovely lens. I unfortunately don't have a mount right handy to do that. I would have to locate it. This is in really, really super clean condition. I don't see any brazing. I don't see any marks. It probably was not used very much. I mean, that feels very good. I do see some dirt, but I don't know if it's inside or outside. I'll have to clean. And that's what I'm saying. That's where I erred. I didn't look at the lenses. I didn't test the apertures. I didn't do anything like that. So, my bad. Here we have a pick. Nope, that's not the brand. We have a Vivitar 2X macro doubler. Well, it should also do normal lenses besides macro. Yeah, it's got infinity. So what this does is it's correction glass, right? So you could take a manual focus lens or a autofocus lens, and that's one reason why I bought this, because you notice this is autofocus, and so it takes and doubles what you got. So if you've got a 300 lens such as this one, that turns it into a 600 lens, 600 millimeter lens. Now the caveat to that is these generally need a lot of light, and they can be slow. Could do a lot of hunting, pecking, and just might not even work altogether. And earlier I said it has the glass on there, and that's generally when you add a doubler to them or an adapter of sort, it may or may not give you infinity or macro. It'll more likely become a big old macro lens, and so that helps that. So that's really cool. So let's see what this does. Now this, okay, this lens does not have a macro mode on it. It's a 28 to 300. Turn on all my autofocus stuff. And it's not even not focusing. Okay. Went to manual focus mode, and it did take a picture, but the autofocusing aspect on it is not working. So I will have to dork with it, and maybe the contacts are dirty. But as you see, I just took a picture of my light. It does work, and you can see how dark it is. Okay. And I keep forgetting I have a polarizing lens on that, so of course that's going to be dark. Guess what? What a lens. This one is a 300 millimeter made by Vivitar. Nice and smooth. Well, a little stiffness right there. Have to work with it. Break that grease free. Lens shade. You can hear that. Microphone over there. This is for a Canon EF mount. I'm sorry, not EF. FD, Canon FD Mount. I only have one camera that uses FD, and I haven't shot that in many, many years. Again, we got the nice tripod collar. So I won't be able to test this one out for a while. And I believe I said it was a 300mm f/5.5. $5. And then I got a 2x converter for M42 lenses, and this one, see, has the glass in it as well. Nice there. And then I bought this. I think I already have one of these, but for $2 I took it. That adapter I paid, I think, $2. I'm not sure if I have that. I may or may not. Remember that camera I said that I bought some accessories for a couple of videos ago? Well, I've since bought the camera, and I'll demo it one day. That's what that's for. That screws over the lens onto the body, and then on the front you could thread in some filters, which is really nice. And that's it for this. Let me clean this up and I'll show you the rest of it.